the greatest element, the greatest gift that God can give Nigerians is not petroleum. The greatest gift that God can give Nigerians is not a good politician. The greatest gift that God can give Nigerians is not a functional economy. It's unity and one accord. The day Nigerians unite in the face of this kind of petroleum oppression, what we will do is call for a boycott of the petroleum system in Nigeria. Citizenship is very important. On this show a couple of months ago, many months ago, we talked about patriotism, and we asked the question, why aren't Nigerians ready to die for Nigeria, right? I told a story of how I've seen many nationalities, citizens from different nationalities, post on social media, I heart my country, I heart America, I heart, I with a heart, a red heart, and then their country or flag of their country. So I've seen Americans do it, I've seen English people do it, I've seen Cape Verdeans do it, I've seen South Africans do it, I've seen many nationalities do it. But in all my years of using social media, I have never, ever seen a post with a Nigerian saying, I heart Nigeria. James, stop laughing. Rochelle, have you seen something like that before? I don't think you have.
I have, actually.
Oh, really? Mm-hmm. Wow. Okay, that's good. I didn't even think I could have vowed that no Nigerian has ever made such a post, but that's beautiful to know that some Nigerians love Nigeria that much. But anyway, I haven't seen, in all my years of you, I haven't seen anybody post such a thing. And that's really because I've come to believe that many Nigerians don't love Nigeria, don't love their country. And that's why you see politicians pillaging this country and, cutting away our common patrimony, our common wealth, into their individual accounts. That's why a civil servant, right, will go to work and steal as much as 80 billion naira. And that's why a governor will steal as much as 160 billion naira. What are you going to do with it? You have a beautiful house that you shouldn't even own as a governor. Governors in America don't own those kind of houses because their salaries can't afford it. So as a governor, you own a beautiful mansion. Good. Let's say it's a norm around here that the governor has to have a beautiful house that he really shouldn't afford. You have a number of beautiful cars. You have a beautiful family. What else are you looking for? Why do you need 160 billion in your account? Why do you even need 1 billion in your account? And so that is because of that lack of love of a nation, right? And so it's become very common in Nigeria that young people strive to travel overseas, become politicians, or there's a third one, going to Yahoo, advanced free fall, right? This is the most important aspirations of most young people in Nigeria today, because these are the easy ways to make money. And I say that these things happen because of lack of love of nation. If we really loved our nation, we would want to see our nation work. We would want to see our country move forward. We would want to do the best at every given opportunity. That means if you're a civil servant, you're a politician, you want to seize the opportunity to touch lives and make your dispensation the best. But that's not what we're saying. And that's simply because of the lack of a love of a nation, right? Having said that, I want to talk about the most important element in nationhood today, or in citizenship, right? Now, the most important element in any national life or citizenship is, or are, peace, unity, one mind, and one accord, right?
Yeah.
A country that bands together, citizens that band together cannot be put in the pocket. Citizens that band together cannot be defeated. Citizens that band together cannot be oppressed, right? Now, the reason our political class are oppressing us is that we have refused as citizens to band together. Yoruba hates Igbo. Igbo hates Hausa. Hausa hates Igbo. Efik says, who are you people? Why are you people saying you're the three most important tribes? Please get out of my way. We are also important. And so they detest you. Anambra hates Abakaliki. Abakaliki hates Imo, right? This brings divide amongst us, right? So it causes us to not band together. And as long as we're not banding together, we will never be able to defeat oppression. And guess what? Our politicians enjoy it when we do not band together, because that way we can't really challenge them in the things that they're doing wrong, right? That way they will have a field day at doing the bad things that they do, the immoral and the corrupt things that they do, right? And so sometimes they even propagate that propaganda that divides us even further, right? Mm-hmm. So it's important that you understand that the most important elements in any national life or citizenship is peace, unity, one mind, and one accord. Your politicians know this, and that's why they will do anything to keep you divided. You know, our political class would never want to see Yorubas and Igbos and Hausas band together, especially the three most populous tribes of Nigeria. They would never want to see us as one people. Because if we became one people, trust me, everything that's happening in this country economically right now will be corrected overnight, right? But because when an Igbo person stands up and says this administration is not doing it right, the Yoruba person will say, get away, is it because it's not your brother? It's our brother. We don't care. He's not doing well, but he's our brother, you know? Now, come on. Every tribe in Nigeria is suffering. Igbos are suffering. Hausas are suffering. Efik, Thieves, Ibibios. Everybody's suffering. And I've always admonished that what we need to do is as citizens come together, band together, unite against our common enemies, which is the corrupt politician, right? Now, the day we get that right, this country will move forward. So a nation that bands together cannot be defeated. So I want to talk about the other important element that falls right under this, but for me, really, this is what I want to talk about today, and that is the power of boycott. Okay. Now, to now tell that story, I want to tell you, to now paint that picture, I want to tell you a story. Montgomery, Alabama in 1955, right? Montgomery, Alabama is a city or a state in the USA, right? Montgomery is a city. Alabama, I believe, is a state, right? It was a pivotal event in the U.S. civil rights movement, sparked by Rosa Parks, right? Who is Rosa Parks, you may ask? Rosa Parks is touted as a major freedom fighter in the Black American community. She's late now, right? But Rosa Parks was a freedom fighter. But something happened with Rosa Parks that actually changed the face of freedom fighting in America. Now, prior to this thing that Rosa Parks did, for so many years in Montgomery, Alabama, the city transit system, including the bus system, I think also the railway line, right? But in this story right now, we are concentrating on the bus system. What happens is that the bus is so segregated that the first few rows of any bus that runs in the city are padded and nicely, dressed. And the last few rows are not catered to. Sometimes dirty, sometimes torn up. The leather seats are torn up and nobody cares to fix them, right? There's a reason for that. The first few rows are always occupied by white people, and the last few rows are occupied by black people, right? So as a black person, if you wanted to ride the bus, what you would need to do is stand at the bus stop. When the bus pulls up, you enter from the front door, pay the driver, get down, and go enter from the back door. You're not allowed to pass through the aisle in between the first few rows of the first seat because peradventure your body touches the white person, right?
The white person.
Yeah. They hated black people so much. They actually adjudged that black people were less than, humans. They were like monkeys. And so they didn't care. It was all right actually for them to kill black people at the time. So at some point, the freedom fighter said it's open season on black people. Open season means a season where it's all right to kill animals. In America, you don't go shooting animals all year round, what we call hunting. You don't go hunting all year round. There are open seasons and there are non-open seasons. In the non-open seasons, you can go shoot animals in the forest, right? But in the open season, you can. So somebody said it's open season all year on black people. So that means at that time they could kill black people and it didn't matter because in the U.S. Constitution, they were not adjudged to be humans. They were less than humans, right? So the point is that they didn't want you, to pass through the aisles in between the first few rows so that your breeze doesn't touch them, let alone your body touching them, right? So as a black person, you entered through the front, you paid, you got down and entered, through the back and went and sat on the unkept rows of seats, right? So this kept going on, right? But really in Montgomery, Alabama was predominantly black. And so the people that used the city transportation system more were black people, right? A lot of the grocery stores were owned by white people, but the people that patronized these businesses we're black people. And again, you walked into the grocery store and you told the owner, who is a white person, I need some bread, I need some milk, I need some cheese, I need some butter, I need whatever it is that you need, right? He gathers all of that stuff and puts it on the counter for you. And you're not allowed to give him the money by hand. You're supposed to drop it on the table, and he picks it up from the table. He doesn't want your hand to touch his, because to him, you are less than human. Right? So this was the kind of segregation that went on in America for so many years. Now, many freedom fighters fought and were killed, right? Prior to Martin Luther King, who was a major catalyst in the freedom, fighting that actually led to the freedom of black people, right? Came up as a young Baptist preacher and began to speak against discrimination in America. Somebody like Jesse Jackson was there. Al Sharpton was there. So many of them, right? But Rosa Parks decided to take it a step further, just beyond speaking, right? He decided to go and sit in one of the front rows that were meant for white people, right? So she sat right there. A mother, right? A mother, not a young girl, but a mother, right? And so they came and told her to give up the seat, and she refused. And so they beat her up. They beat her mercilessly for refusing to get up from a white seat, right? And she did that to make a point. So when she did that, black people got angry and got out to the streets to demonstrate. Now, Martin Luther King and many other black leaders decided enough is enough. It's time we did something to make those people stop the segregation. So they decided that black money is black power. Now, listen, when I say black money, think about Nigerian money, right? Black power, black money is black power. And we continue to give our power to the people that oppress us. So what we need to do is to stop giving them our power, which is our money, right? And so the leaders called for a boycott of the city transit system. So they said all black people, no matter who you are, if you own a car, ride your car. If you own a bicycle, ride your bicycle to work or to the market. If you don't own any of those, work. But black people are not allowed from that 1955 to ride the city transportation system anymore. And so black people in Montgomery, Alabama boycotted the city transportation system. They were the ones making it profitable. So what happened? The city transportation system started going down economically. But you see, when they made this call, clarion call in 1955, I'm sure they did not know it was going to last more than 1 month, but they were willing to do whatever it took to make sure that their children had a better life than they did. Right? So from 1955 to 1956, black people in Montgomery, Alabama walked. If you owned a car, you rode your car. If you owned a bicycle, you rode your bicycle. If you didn't own any of those, you walked. For 1 good year, black people walked in Montgomery, Alabama, and the city transportation system lost a lot of money. They were actually going under, and therefore the court had to rule that the segregation in the city transportation system was unconstitutional and had to abolish it. So they called a meeting, with the black leaders and said, what did you want? They gave a list of things they wanted, but first on that list is that the segregation in the city transportation system had to end. The same thing happened in the grocery stores, like I told you. The same thing happened in the cinemas. Black people had to enter the cinemas through the back door, not through the front door. And they had to go sit on the balconies that were not padded. The only people allowed to sit on the ground floor where the seats are nice and padded were white people, right? And so this changed the face of the freedom fight in America, and eventually the segregation in the city transportation system was abolished, right? Why did I tell you this story today? When you guys were planning to protest a couple of months ago, I told you protests wouldn't help you because the Nigerian government is so adamant. They know that your protests wouldn't do anything. People are going to end up being unalived, right? And I told you it wasn't going to solve any problem. I told you there's a way, but you people are not ready. Why I said you people are not ready is that you're not united. The Yorubas and the Hausas and the Igbos and the Efik and the Ibibios are not united. All of the 200 and more than 250 ethnicities in Nigeria are divided amongst themselves. When you come to the Yoruba land, now, Lagosians discriminate against people from Ekiti. When you come to Igbo land, Anambra and Enugu discriminate against India because they say Nehonya Bakilikia, Zuzu forever. Because you're not divided. Nobody Abakaliki doesn't make him less than human. He's Igbo. He's your brother. Don't discriminate him because he's from Abakaliki. And probably they didn't get a chance to get educated as much as you guys did. But don't discriminate. Now, this discrimination a lot of times is propagated by the people who want to keep you divided. And so that's why I said you guys are not ready to get this government to listen. So the power of boycott is an element in citizenship or nationhood that is important and allows citizens to say no to things that they do not like. Now, I want to talk about the hike in fuel price. Fuel prices have been going up for years since Abacha. And you citizens will go on and buy and patronize. And they have learned, the political class have learned that if we sell fuel for 2,000, you guys will complain for 2 days and you'll still go and buy it. So they don't see you finish. They know you ain't going to do nothing about it. There is nothing you can do about it. But you don't understand that citizens of any country hold the power to change their politics, hold the power to change their economies. You don't know that. And that's why you always go back to do the same things that they expect you to do. Now, let me tell you what happens. You can, through the power of boycott, make NNPC bring down the price of fuel to 30 naira a liter. It's as simple. Not a single soul will be killed. Not a single shot will be shot. Not a single gunshot will ring out. Not a single person will be harmed. But what it takes is discipline on the part of citizens. First of all, the greatest element, the greatest gift that God can give Nigerians is not petroleum. The greatest gift that God can give Nigerians is not a good politician. The greatest gift that God can give Nigerians is not a functional economy. It's unity and one accord. The day Nigerians unite in the face of this kind of petroleum oppression, what we will do is call for a boycott of the petroleum system in Nigeria. Every Nigerian, no matter where you are, do not buy petrol. Park your cars, park your motorcycles, and walk. Same thing they did in Montgomery, Alabama, 1955 to 1956. But are we Nigerians capable of doing that? No. One big man will say, well, maybe could I get that from here? I know they do this thing, which I have the money. Even if it's 5,000, I'll buy. He goes to buy it. Somebody else will go and buy it. Before you know it, in trickles, in large numbers, they go out and buy. And then it will have no effect. But if we were united, call it Ubuntu, the South African philosophy, call it Ibiri Kambiri, the Igbo philosophy, whatever it is. If you cared about your poor brother, even if you were a billionaire and you could pay $1 million for a liter of fuel, you decide, I'm not going to pay $1 million for a liter of fuel because that's my poor brother who's my neighbor who cannot afford it. For his sake, I'm going to boycott the petroleum system in Nigeria. No matter how wealthy you are, we band together and tell NNPC, shove it up the place where the sun does not shine. We're not going to buy it. And everybody boycotts the petroleum system. Both NNPC and the petroleum marketers will know who is boss. And they will come down on the prices of fuel. It's that simple. But you can't do it because you're not united as Nigerians. I remember many years ago when I first came back to this country, it was Globalcom and MTN who were the two networks we had. And they were doing per billing, per second billing, per minute billing, right? That means if you made a call of 60 seconds and you did not round the call up to 1 minute, they will charge you for 1 minute for that call. And so it became very expensive for Nigerians. So what did Nigerians do? For the first times I saw Nigerians unite on a thing. So Nigerians called for everybody to shut down their phone on a particular day. So majority of Nigerians that owned phones at the time shut down their phones on that particular day. They didn't make any calls. They didn't recharge their phones. That means the network companies did not make money. And their demand was switch from per minute billing to per second billing. The network companies felt it in that year. And in a few weeks or a few months later, they had to switch to the per second billing, starting with the green network, right? So there is power in you as citizens banding together. This, I hate Yoruba people. I hate Igbo people. Igbo people are a problem in Lagos. Igbo people are a problem in Kano. I don't like Hausa people. Yes, we know that most Islamic extremists are from the north, but not all Northerners are Islamic extremists. So you can't hate all the north because of the actions of a few. That's why we cry over what's happening in South Africa. Because a few Nigerians in South Africa are giving Nigerians a bad name and they're treating all Nigerians badly. But that's wrong. You cannot generalize and lump everybody up in the same basket as bad. But it's when it's just a few bad eggs that's giving everybody a bad name. So you can't write a whole race out. It's wrong for Lagosians to write all Igbo people out. It's wrong for you to write all Hausa people out because of the actions of a few. So I'm saying that has to stop. Where is Ohanes and Igbo? Where is the National Orientation Agency? Where are different social cultural organizations that belong to different tribes in Nigeria? We must come together and unite our people. When we unite our people, there is value in the unity of Nigerian citizens. Then we can speak as a bloc and our politicians will listen. If they would not listen, whatever they put out, we boycott. It's that simple. We don't need to go break glasses. We don't need to burn down houses, burn down filling stations, burn down government offices because we want to get government's attention. Every infrastructure you destroy needs money to replace. And that money that could have built more infrastructure will go and replace the one that you've spoiled, setting us back even further. So there's a way for us to get the attention of government, attention of businesses without burning a single thing. You can do it with the petroleum system. You can do it with the network companies. You can do it with every business. On the internet today, we call it cancel culture. You do something that people don't like, you discriminate against a person, they put it on the internet, they say, boycott this business, cancel this business, or cancel this so-called celebrity. I call nobody celebrity, I celebrate nobody but Christ, right? So the truth is, we can actually imbibe the cancel culture in the Nigerian environment and actually cancel any business, any politician, any party who isn't doing the mind of the people. Enough is enough with the killing of our people on the streets in the name of demonstrations and riots. Enough of, embarking on fruitless, campaigns, to get the attention of government. So really, I thought to bring this to you today. You, the citizens, are the kings. You, the citizens, are the real bosses. The politicians work for you. They should be working for you. We know that they buy votes, and that's why they don't care about you. The day your votes begin to count, then the politicians will do your bidding. And that's why we must learn that we have power to band together. So that if we say that if this election does not go well, the next election that's going to happen, I don't know which state, Anambra, I guess. If we actually see the gubernatorial election in Anambra State rigged as usual, then citizens can say the next election, we all sit at home. If you sit at home, then there's no election. You are the king. You must know that in yourself. And the day you realize that, then you band together and get politicians and businesses to do your bidding. And that is the future of Nigeria. Thank you.